Thank you for inviting me. My name is Colin Polsky. I'm Associate Vice President for the Broward campuses at FAU.
Well, welcome, Colin. Andrew Koenig, CEO of City Furniture. Happy to have you.
Great. Well, this is the third annual summit of yours that I've attended here in 2024. And so we've got some questions. And in the spirit of being green, I'm going to use my phone and not a printout piece of paper.
Good move.
But in the spirit of being on the aging side nowadays, I need to take off my glasses. So let's get into it. And just basically this Green Summit, what inspired you to host it and put it on?
So, we've been on our journey of being a good corporate citizen along our green efforts, and for over 15 years, I'd say. And the strategy got more formalized, I'd say about a decade ago. And unfortunately, like we were talking about earlier, there just wasn't enough good businesses out there that I was able to network with, or that we were all able to benchmark and talk strategy. It was really hard for us to find a lot of first adopters on going green and fleet and building, construction, you name it, recycling. So this summit really came out of that struggle to where do I start, and who's gone down this path? Has anyone tried to go after this strategy or have an experience there? So we thought a few years ago, like, hey, let's put on our own summit and let's invite the community. Let's invite our competitors. Let's invite everybody, small, medium, large businesses. Who cares? We all want this earth to be around, forever for our kids' and you name it. So this is our way of trying to create that ecosystem of good businesses, good community leaders, green folks, you name it, working together to all accomplish the goals that we want to see and just take good care of this world.
Well, that's outstanding. So I think you mentioned that your truck fleet. So what inspired that interest to transition most or all of it now to clean natural gas?
Yeah, so so if you think of a furniture retailer, you got a big delivery operation. I'm really proud. We're one of the very few in the country furniture retailers that have our own fleet. Our drivers are our associates, and we put a lot of time and energy into that fleet, into our drivers. So, when you think about how much impact we have on the environment, with driving all across Florida, in our good hearts, we're just like, hey, let's try to make this the most cleanest possible way we can do it. So, over 10 plus years ago, we researched hydrogen, electricity, you name it, and came across compressed natural gas and really investigated it and worked with a lot of partners to, maybe I want to ask that again. So we investigated and we worked with the Department of Energy for the United States, and anyways, we saw like, hey, this is a real possibility for us to take almost 70% of our emissions out. And so we piloted one truck. We found our suppliers and partners. We piloted one truck, saw great results, turned into 5, and then it turned into 65, and then now it's 100% of our fleet, and it's evolved from compressed natural gas to now we do have some electric vehicles, and continuing to invest that. We've ordered 5 Tesla semis that should be here next year. We are incorporating renewable natural gas from methane that's in landfills that gets filtered through our pipes to our stations here and our 4 warehouses, and now we're doing renewable natural gas, which is even more emission reduction. So we're just trying to be the greenest possible fleet out there, and I'm really proud of our fleet leadership team and the entire team. I think it was 3 years ago we won the greenest fleet in the entire country, and I think this past year we were 15th. And we're just a furniture retailer, so really proud of what our team's done. It's been a very difficult journey, and but we're really proud of it.
Well, that's outstanding. I think you said maybe 80% of your emissions you thought were from the fleet?
I want to say originally we were hoping for a 67% emission reduction, and that's what we got when we went to 100% CNG. I believe now that we're filtering through renewable natural gas through those pipes and through those compressed natural gas stations, I think it's even more of an emission reduction.
Right.
So I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I know the DOE's proud, and the Clean Cities Coalition is proud, and our fleet team and our green partners around the country are really proud.
Yeah, well, that's impressive. But the remainder of the emissions is largely, I would imagine, electricity consumption for cooling in the buildings and lighting.
Well, no, I'm just referring to just the fleet,
right?
Just that. So our total emissions, that's a different story. That happened.
Oh, the reduction in fleet emissions was on the order of
yeah,
70.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, but then on the electricity side, I think you've got some solar efforts underway with FPL, maybe, and tell me about that.
Yeah, so really proud of our partnership with FPL. The program's called FPL Solar Together.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we're about a third of our total electricity is powered through their solar farms. So for all the electricity you see around here and all of our 30 plus buildings, 4 warehouses, we're about a third of that electricity is through those solar farms, renewable energy.
Yeah.
And we're shameless plug, we're pushing them and all other energy partners around the state to develop more in that space, and hopefully we can see that 33 go higher and higher over the next few years.
Sure. Great. So recycling, how does your partnership with Habitat for Humanity help you advance on those goals?
Yeah, so if you think about furniture in general, we might be picking up used furniture on the road, or donations that come to us. Rather than throwing those into the landfill, we have a very strong partner with Habitat for Humanity in all of our markets, and we're trying to make sure that product is always safe and approved to their standards to sell, that goes back in the community. And it might be the easier thing to just throw it in the trash can, but we're really proud of making sure that we're flowing through them, and their restores is what they call it, and they're able to provide good quality furniture that's affordable, and and their mission's unbelievable, and a lot of people get that furniture and keep it going for another 5, 10 plus years.
Yeah, and as you say, the less we all contribute to the landfills, the lower the methane emissions profile is from that source.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
So City Furniture operates state-of-the-art recycling centers at all 4 distribution centers. So what's that process like, and the types of materials that you involve?
Yeah, so if you imagine a piece of furniture getting delivered to your house, you got the cardboard, you got the styrofoam, you got the plastic. You might have some wood crates. So all of those materials are brought back to our warehouse, and we recycle everything. So we have partners for every single stream of those materials, and there's a very, very small percentage of what goes into our product packaging that can't be recycled. And by the way, our head of global sourcing is trying to get that to be recycled. So we're working with our partners to even get to, so that everything 100% is recycled. But I think we're about 98, 99% of the materials get recycled. And like you said, state-of-the-art, best-in-class operations, real-time. You can't do it without great partners. I think our chopped up wood, could turn into mulch, and our plastic or styrofoam could be melted, and I've heard it turned into plastic chairs.
Yeah.
And then cardboard's often reused for paper. So there's a lot of really cool recycle streams, and we're real proud to make sure that nothing goes in the landfill. And whenever I'm in a warehouse, I always try to peek in that trash compactor, just making sure nothing's in there.
Yeah, awesome. So looking ahead, what do you see for City Furniture's next steps in sustainability? And you have obviously a leadership position here in Broward County and Florida more broadly. So what are you looking to for the future?
Yeah, so I appreciate the feedback on the leadership position. Honestly, I got 3 kids, and I want to make them proud. And I want to make sure that we're leaving this earth better than we left it. Our entire team does. Every person we hire does. Everybody that works here wants to just do a good job. And so I think we're just going to live our values and continue to problem solve to get to our ultimate goal, which is carbon neutrality. And by 2040, our 2040 green promise that we made public to our customers and community, hey, that's the goal. So we're on our way, but we still got a lot of work to do. We recognize we have big buildings, a lot of product, trucks on the road, and it's going to be a journey to get there. So I think that's what I'm focused on. That's what the team's focusing on, and hopefully, new recruits do recognize that and say, hey, this is a good place to work. I want to work for a company that does good in the world. Hopefully, the people that work here feel a little bit more proud, as well as their family members, of all the stuff we're doing for the environment, and then I guess hopefully that rubs off on more and more businesses out there, because like I told you earlier, 15 years ago, there wasn't many folks we can go network, and this is a free event. We want everybody to come here, and we want anybody that wants to make this world a little bit better and last a lot longer. We want to be friends, and every business has different problems, and we can all learn from each other as we go down this journey together. So that's really it. That's the whole purpose.
Well, that's great. I want to build a little bit off of something you mentioned there, and it links with my academic interests, but also in the leadership at FAU. You really are in the lead, which is another way of saying other businesses and even institutions like universities aren't necessarily doing what you're doing already. So you clearly have a mindset that is kind of and, not either or, because often, the cost up front, there's a learning curve, there's an investment, what's the ROI, so I'll put it off, or I'm not interested.
Yeah.
But you clearly took a path of, we got to figure out a way to do it together, and,
Yeah.
And so how do you, when you talk with other leaders in the industry or other business industries, how do you explain, the difference, or how to get the folks into your mindset?
So typically I try to sell the ROI, and because that gets attention.
Yeah.
That definitely gets attention. Maybe more attention than, helping this earth last a few hundred more years. So our cost per gallon on our trucks, last time I checked, our fully dedicated compressed natural gas trucks, I believe is in the $1.30 range, gas gallon equivalent.
Right.
So if you're out there spending a lot of money on diesel fuel, you got to look at compressed natural gas if you can. And because there's a huge ROI there. We drive hundreds of thousands of miles a month. So so I try to sell them, hey, yeah, the building is an upfront investment, but the right AC units, the right materials for the building will keep it cooler and reduce those costs over time, and so you don't have to heat it up or use the AC unit as much aggressively as you would in other buildings that aren't properly designed. So we've seen ROI wherever we've invested, I would say, a positive ROI in all of our green strategies, even our recycling efforts, our Habitat for Humanity effort, our partnership. I'd say there's a solid ROI almost everywhere, but I think you hit on the fear of the unknown, the hard work to get there, and I think that's legit. And I think I would want everybody to know that, hey, City's got a great talented team that be happy to help you if you're really serious about going green. And and I know there's more than one company, but we multiply. The more companies to do this, the less scary it gets, right? When your mechanic talks to my mechanic, and more mechanics understand what the challenges are if they're going to go that way, or building designers, you know what I mean? So that really is the point of this whole event, and hopefully we get more people on this journey, because our consumers are telling us that they want this out of the businesses that they partner. Our associates are telling us, hey, I want to work for a company that does good in the world, especially that's environmentally friendly. So I think this is coming. This isn't going to become a should you do it. Eventually, it's going to be either you do it, or your institution or business or organization, I don't think will be as successful as it could be.
Well, I mean, I agree with you, but I speak with folks in business schools and such, and their attitude often, not always, is, well, if it was profitable, we'd already be doing it. And I see that logic. I can understand, right? Because their obligation is to maximize profits. But it's still a mindset switch.
Well, I guess I'm happy to speak to anybody about what we've done, and we definitely understand the financials, and
Yeah.
I guess maybe something that might be different here versus other places. We have a long-term perspective. We have we've been in business for 52 years. My goal is to help it keep it going for another 52 years. And if I'm building this building, I'm not looking at the ROI over a course of a year or 4 or 5. And to be frank, our building mindset is 30 plus years. So we're looking at that land and that structure as if, what's it going to do over the next 30 years? And if it's financially, it's worked out on all the investments we've made. But if you do have a short-term investment mindset, I could see how the numbers sometimes are difficult to add up.
Yeah. Well, listen, Andrew, thank you for this opportunity to learn some of what your journey has been, and also for hosting this event for multiple years. And hopefully some of this will bleed over into our curricula at FAU. But I appreciate your time here.
Yeah, thank you, Colin, for coming to chat with me. And I want you and everybody to know we got the best team in the business, and I'm just so proud of what they've done over the last decade. It's pretty amazing. And I know they'd be happy to share to all your students, you name it, to anybody that's interested. That's what the whole purpose of this event is. So appreciate the, coming and visiting.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, man.